You are live.
Thank you. Welcome everyone to the Arts and Public Places Commission meeting, July 26th, 2022, and we'll call to order at 7:02 p.m. Joe, may I have a roll call of attendees, please?
Yes, Genevieve.
Here.
David. I see you. I'm going to take that as a yes.
Here, sorry, I was on mute. My bad. I'm here.
Barbara. Jim.
Here.
Joe is here. And Krissa is not here, and Cynthia is not here.
Thank you, Joe. At this time, I'd like to call for a motion to approve the agenda.
This is David. I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. And then we'll move on to the minutes from June 28th, 2022. Were there any questions or concerns on the draft that was sent to everyone for review?
I have one edit. I got the date wrong on the minutes. So
Okay.
I would like to move to approve the minutes with the one edit to the date of the meeting.
Do I have a second on the motion?
Second.
Thank you, both David and Barbara. All those in favor of the change, please say aye.
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 Aye. Righty. Thank you, Joe. Okay, we'll move into old business first. And Barbara, if you have a Poet Laureate update.
For Maggie, she has a couple of things lined up for the summer. Local ales and poetry tales, adult open mic night in August, Art in Park, which can be reading her own poetry. That'll be October, Sunday, and yet to be named adult mic night also in October at Art Farm. And I know that she sent an email to either Brian or Sarah about a possible adult poetry night at 49 West, and she'll keep posted on that. One note about funding, that back in May, she sent you, she sent us the invoice for the $300 supplies, and we didn't have the money yet. Do you know where that is, Genevieve, or does she have?
I don't, and I'll double check with James in procurement.
That's all I have.
Okay.
And Barbara, did you say adult poetry night?
Adult.
Okay.
Adult, yeah.
Adult, okay. You were kind of breaking up your in and out, so I just didn't know exactly what you said. Okay, cool, thank you.
Meaning, yeah, I think it's 21 and up because of the bruise part of it, so.
Got it, okay.
Thank you,
Hey,
Barbara.
everybody.
Hi, Brian.
She's doing some great stuff. I'm really still, I know I say it every meeting, but it's just wonderful following her along on social media and all the events that she's planning and everything. It's great. Okay. For gallery updates, hopefully everybody's been able to pop into Pip Moyer and see the Dale Hall photography. As well as at City Hall, we still have the collaboration with the PBA students in the Annapolis Police Department. In August, it does change to Studio 39 at City Hall, and Annapolis Arts Alliance will be featuring a group of their artists as well at Pip Moyer. So stay tuned for that and look for those changes. Audrey is doing a really great job with the gallery hangs and curating. And again, if you have any suggestions for curation, Audrey's there to listen and she's willing to take in your suggestions. So feel free to send those her way. At this time, I'd like to make a motion that we jump to E and discuss the budget before we move on to B for proposed murals, because we have some old business with murals, that actually requires us to be up to date on our budget before we move forward with that. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor of moving to budget and then coming back to B? After the discussion, say aye, please. Sorry.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Okay. So I sent
I
out,
have a question, Genevieve, I have a
Yep.
question. Where did we obtain the budget?
okay, well, I need to get through the vote first. So you,
Yeah, I can wait.
okay, you're good. Okay. So the budget comes from our finance department. So they do all of the reports for us.
But how do we as commissioners get a copy of the budget?
I send it out every time before the meeting. So I send it out to everybody.
Okay,
You don't have one?
no,
I'll send it to you again right now.
please go on. Don't hold up for me to
Well,
receive.
yeah, I'm multitasking here now, so hold on. I gotta send you the budget.
Madam Chair, just to let you know, Joe Lucchese dropped out. I think he was frozen.
Okay,
So he'll attempt to rejoin, I'm sure.
thank you.
No, I don't have it.
Okay, Jim, it should be in your inbox and I'll give you a minute to look at it.
Just, please don't hold up. Just go right
Okay.
ahead.
Okay, so on Monday, Jim, everybody, just so you know, on Monday, David and Joe and I met with finance in order, well, Brian was there as well as a liaison from the mayor's office, to figure out how going forward the readout in our budget is going to appear. Since, you know, we've changed the hotel tax, it's going to be different. And how does that look for us? And how do we read the budget? And how do we understand what is happening? So currently, the estimated for fiscal year 2023, which is not shown on this budget that I sent you because they're pulling a new report to make sure that the carryover from the previous hotel tax distributions and the projected for the upcoming hotel tax distributions are accurate, and then they'll send it out. So when we meet again in September, if we all decide not to meet in August, as we normally don't, but I'll discuss that later. In September, we should have that budget in front of us that's over $200,000 that has been discussed before. But currently, as it is right now, the projected balance that's available to us is $51,525.11. So for tonight's spending, this is what we're looking at to appropriate to those who are asking for funds to sponsor their events. So needed to clarify that before we start talking about spending the money. Did anybody have any questions about the current budget and any of the expenditures or anything on it? Okay, so that's where we are for now. And as soon as finance department gets me the new report, I will send that out again to everybody. So we will know where we are at for our next meeting. Okay, so now I will jump back over and we'll go into murals. So the proposed mural updates, if you haven't seen it yet, the one in the county building, which we were not part of the selection for, but the county and the Arts Council did select their 2 artists, and it is in the process of being put up. It's pretty amazing. It's huge. I think it might be one of our biggest murals in town now. So swing by and see that. It's on Calvert Street. And then I don't have any other proposed murals that haven't been started yet, other than Archie's proposal that I sent out to all of us. But I did want to, actually, hey, Brian. He might have walked away. There is going to be a dedication.
I'm here.
Okay. Do you want to give everybody a rundown real quick of the dedication that's coming up?
Yeah, I just put it on my calendar and I'm blanking on the date right now. It's August.
Well, I think Jeff is in check. We could bring Jeff up.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Hey, Mark, can you let Jeff from Jaru's studio speak?
I apologize.
It's okay. Hey, Jeff, are you there? He might not be there because I told him he wasn't until later. So he might have just signed on.
I'm right there.
Oh, there he is. Hey, Jeff.
Hi, yeah, Julia and I are here.
Hey,
And
guys. I just wanted you to give us an update on the dedication event coming up.
okay, oh, Laura Hirschfeld is here also on the mural. Could she be let in, or is that to be discussed for when we talk about the
Later.
principal?
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
bring her on when we're talking about the other.
Oh, okay, the dedication is August 21st for the Eva Cassidy mural project. We're going to send out an Evite, and we're right now collecting contacts, and the family, they're really excited. They're going to be involved. We thought we were going to have it at the end of July. Unfortunately, Eva's brother and wife came from Iceland to be there. They're here now, but we're not having it until the 21st of August. But it'll be great. Refreshments, family, a lot of musicians are going to be playing Eva's music for her. And I sense it's going to be a kind of a reunion for a lot of people. And this might also be a part of the documentary that's being made out in the UK right now that you're aware of, The Essence of Eva. Oh, it's from 12 to 4 that day, rain or shine. Joe from Stan and Joe's said we can use the indoors if weather's an issue. So they'll be hosting it as well. Yeah, I think that's about it. And then following that would be dinner under the stars. So we're going to try to see if we can, get people to just kind of hang around.
Wonderful. Thank you for popping in with the update, Jeff. I figured it was best coming from you guys.
Yes, thank you, Jeff.
Yep.
Sure.
Okay, we'll bring you back in a little bit.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay. So I did forward the application from Archie, in which he is asking for additional funds. If you remember, he was here in April, and we gave funds for them to start the basketball court mural, which is going to be back on the bleachers. He's now asking for an additional 11,000. You guys have the proposal. Archie wasn't able to make it tonight, so it'll be upon everybody to have reviewed that proposal and know what the vote is later when we take the vote on spending for all of the asks tonight. And if you had any questions on it, Jeff and Julia from Future History Now, who are in check, do have familiarity with the mural. And they would be the ones to ask because Archie wasn't able to come tonight. So the ask was for 11,000. So keep that in mind. Does anybody have questions about those proposals? Okay. So that is it for mural updates and grant updates. Did Joe come back or is he?
He's in the process of calling in.
Okay, poor guy.
His internet's down.
That sounds like my meeting on Monday. couldn't sign in, couldn't hear me. It's technology, it's okay. We'll give him a minute. David, do you know, were you guys able to have that meeting?
No, I don't think we actually, fixated on a date. I know there were things, being thrown about, just a matter of like, when everybody was available. We never kind of confirmed a date. So
Okay.
unfortunately, no.
Okay. There might not be an update. I'll go ahead and move forward. If there is, he can give us an update. So public outreach updates. The only thing that I have currently is that we're going to start the Archerettes meetings up again. The next one will be in September sometime. Arts Council and April Nyman is working on a specific date. At this time, I don't have that information, but again, as soon as I do, I will send it out to everybody and it'll be posted and everybody will get the invitation to participate from the same group as before. So that's what we have. Oh, there's Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, it looks like my internet is back up. I might try and come back on through
Okay.
Zoom, but I can hear you while I try and do that.
No worries. We were discussing grants and I don't know if you had an update for grants or not.
Sort of.
Yeah, not specifically about grants. There's nothing has really popped up, but I did talk to Jan, David's friend. Oops, am I still in there?
Yeah, we're here. We got you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I did talk to Jan, and somehow I thought that was specific. I thought his interest was specific to grants, but he actually was kind of interested in sort of general volunteer opportunities with us. So I mean, we had a good chat, but I just said I would, sort of make that volunteer interest known. I don't know, since I've been on the commission, we haven't really had kind of additional volunteers, so I don't know what that would look like, but he's definitely available and kind of able to pitch in. He's actually, his background is more kind of on the music and production side. If that's of some kind of interest, then he just said, if an opportunity comes up, he would be happy to pitch in.
That's interesting.
So if there's something we can, yeah.
Yes, apparently we had a different conversation. So, okay, that's interesting.
That's kind of what I thought, but
yeah, all right.
But anyway,
Well,
that's the conversation we had.
all right, well, I'll
I
follow
checked,
up with
he
him as
listed-
well.
All right. Well,
You
thank
got-
you. Go ahead.
Nope, that's it.
Okay. Thanks for meeting with him, Joe. I really appreciate that.
Sure.
Anybody else have anything on grants or any questions? Go ahead, Jim. You're muted.
I got it.
All right.
Is there a particular deadline for grants?
It is. It's 100% dependent on the organization.
Okay.
They're kind of rolling all year long.
Okay. Because there are a couple community projects that are not gelled yet. And the question I have is, do I fill out one of those forms that is on our website? Is that how we apply for a grant?
Well, as far as
Hold
sponsorship,
on.
yeah, as for sponsorship from
Go
other
ahead.
areas, now we see you. Sponsorship from arts and public places. Yes, they would fill that out. It's okay, Joe. We'll wait.
Mute, Joe.
One at a time, one at a time.
Yep. It doesn't want to hang up for him. We can just kick you out.
Joe, we can't hear you.
There you go. Okay, try it this way.
Okay.
For arts and public places, yes, in order to get sponsorship, the work of our application is filled out. We have one for performing arts and for visual arts. For us to apply to other organizations for grants for certain projects, that does depend on, obviously when the grant is being offered, the closing date for application, and whether we qualify as, the commission as we do. So generally, arts and public places doesn't qualify for most grants. We would have to work with a nonprofit. So we've done grant applications before with Future History Now as a nonprofit, or the Arts Council can work with us in order to apply for grants as well.
So we can allow another group that is a nonprofit to sponsor part of a project, and they might ask for additional funding. That's the process.
Yes, definitely. Yes.
Okay. I apologize for not having a list of those completed, but I'll work on that over the next month and get that in before the next meeting.
Okay.
And these are small projects.
Okay. And make sure that the lead on those projects are filling out the applications. They're going to need to fill out a vendor form as well. So if it is approved, the city can pay them and have them on their vendors list. So
it'll be a treasurer or a budget or a director, an executive director or somebody like that. Okay. Last question. I had inquired about the Circle project, Westgate Circle, which is a lot more complex than we may realize. There is a group that has expressed some interest in helping to underwrite that along with AIPPC. Is that kind of thing acceptable? I know that we had talked about, we wanted to sponsor that as a commission, but it may be more expensive than we can afford. So I presume we'll be accepting grants from other people.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, and that can be part of the budget discussion. I was trying to see if everybody would join us, but as far as
that'll be a collaborative process, I presume.
Yes. So
where the various people get together.
Mm-hmm. The hope is that as AIPPC, we set aside some funds, and then hopefully we can get other people to match or to supplement. Like we would definitely go to the Arts Council and ask them to match. We would go to the state and see if the state will match and so forth. And then figure out where we are. And we'll have more of an idea of what the budget's going to look like after we get the final RFP put together, and we can start putting it out and receiving entries from the artists. That'll give us more of an idea of how much money we're going to have to raise and how many partners we need to pull in for it.
A reason I ask is I serve on the Arts District's board, and there's been some interest in that particular project, and they will probably be applying for grants with the understanding that these are going to be monies that will be pooled with other monies.
And that is just in general, that's a project that we can really look for external money for. That kind of public art commission is, we have kind of talked about this off and on, but the pandemic stalled it. But there's kind of pretty promising sources out there for public sculpture. So.
Yeah, the goal is hopefully to have a rough draft of an RFP together for review by September meeting. And then we can compile the committee that will review the entrance from the artists that want to apply. And then, the next step process would be figuring out the budget part of it to make sure that we have the funds and we can move forward with the project.
So that's okay. So that's good to know. So just in terms of practically, we're kind of heading towards that next step in terms of timeline. Okay.
Will we be using a process to select or request proposals, and then evaluate those proposals and come up with a final selection, similar to what they did with the mural on the Arundel Center, which is currently under process, where there were several proposals made, and there were 14 people evaluating it. And then they winnowed that down to 6 or 9, something like that. And then there was another winnowing process. And I presume, because of the complexity of doing something in that circle, that's probably where we'll end up.
Yeah. So it'll be the city drafts the request for proposals, since will be a city-owned piece, and the city will be responsible for it. So the contract will be with the city to acquire this piece of art. So the request for proposals will come from our procurement office, and then will be given out publicly. Everybody will be able to apply, and then the entries will be reviewed by a jury selection of 3 from the commission and then 3 from the public. And then the final 3 that are selected will be presented to the commission for a final vote. And all of that will be written out and defined. So.
Great.
Hey, any questions or comments on old business? No? Okay.
Did I miss the grant or the budget conversation? Did that motion go through?
Yeah. What motion?
I mean, you don't have to
more
repeat
money.
it. I just want to make sure that I record it properly.
Yes. So we discussed the budget, and basically it was a recap of our meeting with Jody.
Okay.
Yeah. And Julie, and how going forward, that's how our budget is going to work, and in September, we will know more concrete numbers, because they were going to go back and run another report to see if our carryover is more than what it appears to be right now, or so we need that number so we can spend money. And yes, so they promised to pull another report. So in September, we should be good to go. And it's projected to be, with the carryover, somewhere over 200,000. Now that doesn't include any spending that we do tonight. So if we spend, then we have to subtract that from the $200,000 carryover for September. So just so we're very plain about it. And yeah, that was it on budget.
Thanks.
And so tonight we have the $51,000 to appropriate. Okay.
Genevieve, just one quick question. Even though we hypothetically may not meet in August, we still get a report in August. Are we planning on getting a budget every month?
Yes. So Julie said she'll try to pull the budget on the 15th of each month, so we have it well enough time to review and look over it before our meeting. Also, and that's if the 15th falls on a weekday, a business day. So of course, if it falls on the weekend, then we wait until the next business day, and she'll present it to us. We'll send it out. Additionally, the way they said that it's going to be reported, though, is it may not be completely up to date. So like if we got a report on July 15th, it would be only to the end of June.
Right. Okay, I remember that. Okay.
Yeah. So I would have to go through and find any other expenditures that need to be.
Yeah. Okay. I just wonder if especially if we don't meet in August, we still get a report for August, just in case. So I don't know if they're going to wait till September and go.
I think so. Most of the city government shuts down in August, but I will double check and see if they plan on pulling a report in August too. So
thanks.
But I know that we're supposed to be getting a new one here soon.
Cool.
Anyway, so.
Thank you.
Yep. Anybody else? Okay. Well, then we can go on to new business, and The first presentation tonight will be from the Annapolis Songwriters Festival. And how it is going to work is that they have 5 minutes to present, and then they have additional minutes to take questions from the commissioners. The votes for approval will be held until the end of every proposal. Since we have so many tonight, we want to consider what we have on the table before allocating any funds, and leaves us time to have an open discussion as well.
Madam Chair, I'm afraid I'm at a loss as to who is with the
Yes.
Songwriters Festival.
So it should, Julie, if is she on? Actually, I don't see.
Kyle Mulhauser has raised his hand. Are you with
Yep.
the festival?
Yes, that would be me.
Yep, you can let Kyle speak. Yep. So I did send the proposal out, and everybody had a chance to review the proposal and the ask. Okay. Kyle, you may go ahead.
Sorry, I lost you there. Is it my time to go?
Yes, sir.
Yes, go for it.
Yeah, so my name's Kyle Muehlhauser. I'm the owner of Ram's Head. Excited to talk about Annapolis Songwriters Festival. Ram's Head purchased the Key West Songwriters Festival this past year. It's a 26-year-old festival in Key West. It's been very successful. Part of that process was bringing that event, a sister event, here to our home city in Annapolis. So the event will be a 3-day event, September 15 to 17. And it's really showcasing the art of songwriting. That's really at the core of what the festival is. We have a very strong partnership with BMI, who is a, if you're not familiar, a very large music licensing company. They used to be someone that I didn't like as a restaurant owner because they'd always charge all these fees for background music and things. But actually the partnership has turned out to be, in a very short time, a very important one for us, where they basically represent songwriters really around the world. So a big part of what we're doing is we're bringing all of these songwriters, some of which are Hall of Fame songwriters, to town for this 3-day festival. There will be some paid events, as we need to have some bigger names to help kind of be marquee names and draw attention to the festival. So there's actually 2 paid events at City Dock. There'll be 2 paid concerts at Maryland Hall and 2 at Ram's Head on Stage. The rest of the festival is all free. So it'll be a kickoff concert for the festival at MC3, the lawn area outside of the Westin Hotel. That'll be headlined by Robert Randolph and a local band, Honestly Soul, as well as some other songwriters that we'll announce. But that'll be completely free to the public. And then we partner with a lot of venues throughout town. The hotels are a big partner because we're housing a lot of people. So we have the Westin, Hilton Garden Inn, Graduate, and then other partner venues like Metropolitan 49 West, Latitude 38. I'm sure I'm forgetting a couple. So it'll start on Thursday at 5 o'clock with that free concert. And then from there, we'll program music throughout these other venues in 2 to 3 hour stretches throughout the weekend. So in total, we'll probably have at least 60 artists coming. It will include some of the best local artists that we have, because Annapolis is rich with local talent. Right now, I think we have about 20 local artists and 40 of these national songwriters coming from out of town. I think that pretty much summarizes it. So I'll open it up for questions.
Does anyone have questions for Kyle?
Jim, you're muted.
I'm trying to not mutter in the background. How much are you anticipating asking this commission for? I did not see the note.
I believe we've asked for $10,000.
Okay.
That is correct.
We've estimated, a large majority of these artists are coming from the Nashville area, some from New York. So between travel for all of them, lodging for all of them, along with payment, and other production expenses are substantial. We anticipate we're going to spend about $150,000 just on the free portion of music for this festival.
Okay.
Kyle, is there something at Banneker Douglas Museum?
No, unfortunately, we stayed in communication with them for quite a while, and just this past week or end of last week, they let us know that they're going to be going under some type of construction project, and that main space will not be available during the festival.
Too bad. It's a good venue.
Yeah, we were excited to have them involved.
Any other
Next
questions?
year.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Kyle, for presenting, and notification will be sent via email.
All right. Thanks so much. Appreciate everybody's time.
Thank you. Have a good night.
All right. You too. Bye.
Okay, Mark. Next up is Jeff Huntington and Julia Gibb. I don't think. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think Joseph Carr is on. And they will present their proposal for the Prince George Street mural.
Hi. I was wondering, can you let Laura Hirschfeld into the conversation?
Yes, please.
She's part of this proposal.
Yep. Sorry, you mentioned that earlier and I blanked on that too. Okay. She's here and allowed to speak.
Okay, so we're working on we had a mural that was going to happen called the Cannery at 110 Dock Street in 2018. It was going to be the side on Craig Street that faces the crepe, Sophie's Crepes, and then the back of the building on Prince George across from Gibson's Lodging Inn. And that never didn't go through. But we did apply at the time for HPC approval. That was approved. That had elapsed since it's been 4 years. So we reapplied that on September 13th is going to be the public hearing for that. So for this project, we're asking for $8,000 from AIPPC to help fund this project. What we're doing now is we're doing the back wall only on Prince George Street, commissioned by Laura Hirschfeld, who is the new owner of Gibson's Lodging of Annapolis. Did I say that correctly, Laura?
Gibson's Inn. Gibson's
Yep. Gibson's Inn. So I'll just be really brief and then I'll let her speak. But this is the mural was originally designed by artist Joe Carr, longtime Annapolitan artist, musician, incredible talent. If you don't know his work, you probably have seen it if you've been to Sailor Oyster Bar or the Annapolis Market House. He's done the branding for them and many others. So this is a collaboration between Joe Carr and Jaru Studio, which is the for-profit mural company of me and my wife, Julia Gibb. So we will be assisting Joe Carr on this design of his. And I can just describe it real quick. It is a monochromatic blue. The proposed Prince George Street mural depicts the traditions and wildlife found on the water in the heart of Annapolis and throughout the state of Maryland. It depicts historic likenesses of watermen from a past era, a great blue heron, a Baltimore Oriole, a rowing team representing both the Naval Academy and St. John's, as well as the majestic tulip poplar that stood on the campus of St. John's College for hundreds of years, known as the Liberty Tree. The subtle monochromatic palette of soft blues reflect the serenity of the shoreline and our place within it. And let's see, I think we are, so I'll be assisting Joe Carr, as well as Julia Gibb and a few cadets from the Naval Academy.
Size, wall size.
Oh, the wall size?
It's a large
Or-
wall. It's a large project. I just wanted to add that.
Or should, you guys already reviewed it, I think. You saw.
Yeah, looking at it now, it looks like it's pretty large.
Yeah, it's a pretty large wall. It's 2,400 square feet roughly, which is, if you want to compare it to that, it's pretty close to, a little bit smaller than the Calvert Street wall that they're working on, but different proportions.
Obviously more horizontal.
Yeah, more horizontal. So it's not as monumental, you know, seen from a distance. But Laura, I think I'll let Laura speak to the project.
Sure. Let's see. So we're very excited to be able to get to own Gibson's in now. It's a desperate need to be fixed up, but I've also lived here my entire life. And that street that Gibson's is on was always a street I also used to work. I don't know, I'm going to date myself. It used to be called Harbor House. It's now Latitude 38. I worked there for my whole life. So I literally spent my entire teenage years trying to find parking on that back road back there. And it was always a bit like alley-like. It's a little sketchy. And I just never I stopped paying attention to it until we ended up with Gibson's, which is an amazing project to be able to bring some life back into this history of this place. But the road has to change because I didn't really pay attention to the fact until we had this place that, I mean, it is a major gateway into Annapolis. I mean, but that Berry Gate right there, you have these people bringing their, walking with their children, that they're coming into Annapolis that way. And their very first impression of Annapolis is like an alley. And it's just blah. And I just think for really the good of the city, the good of for like art everywhere. If that's the initial impression that all of these parents see, it's going to make them feel like their children are walking into a safer city, because it doesn't look like they're walking into an alley when they come out of the Naval Academy. And just to be able to see something beautiful right when they walk out, I feel like the implications could be even bigger than it just being a mural. It could really change the entire entrance to the city. It can make a safer street, not to mention just more beautiful. So that's why I just think it would be an incredibly exciting project. The very first thing you see and the very last thing you see when you go back home to the Naval Academy.
Thank you. Do we have questions for either Jeff, Julia, or Laura?
Just have one question. I'm looking at the image. What's on the scroll? Does it scroll to the, well, if you're looking at it to the right-hand side, it's near the bush.
Jeff would have to answer that.
Oh, there it is. Sorry, I was looking for that mute button. I can't recall right now. I think
It was filler text, like Lorem Ipsum or whatever they call it. It there wasn't anything really there yet, but I thought that was out of the design now. Is it still in the design?
I'm not sure, David. I'm sorry. Let me look at it. So this is designed by Joe Carr. I know the banner said.
Yeah, it's gone.
Oh, we took it out.
Yeah.
I don't. You know what? I think
they are looking at the old design, maybe.
Yeah, I'm looking at the design is attached to the form.
Yeah, you know what? So the Naval Academy, it used to have a cadet on there from the 1800s, and now we changed it to watermen, and it said United States Naval Academy. The legal team at the Naval Academy didn't want any of their name on there or any specificity to the Naval Academy. So we made it more about watermen. So now the ribbon says Annapolis, Maryland, established,
1649.
Yep. And then, thank you, Laura. So I think it looks like he took that scroll out. We moved the boat and the skiff and the Oriole, which came from the side wall on Craig Street, we moved it back there and put a large heron flying across on the left side. So I apologize for, I think these adjustments may have been made after we sent in the application to you. So I apologize. I'm happy to bring it up right now on the screen if you like.
That'd be great if you don't mind.
Sure.
Just to get
That'd be
current
I'd
view.
like to see that.
I don't know how to do it.
There should be a bottom green button to share screen.
Share screen. Okay. And then let me get it to my desktop first. I should have it nearby. Concept rendering 2018. For application. I'm sorry, I just saw it and now Prince George Street. Oh, there it is. See. Okay. Oh, yeah. Desktop. Okay. How do I get to my desk? I'm sorry, you guys.
I think there you go.
Yeah.
You're almost there.
Oh my gosh, I've got so much stuff up here.
If you double click
Look,
on that image, it'll
Annapolis
probably pop up.
flamingos.
I'm trying to unbury it.
Those are actually Cedar Rapids, Iowa flamingos.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, good.
Does that make more sense?
Does that work? Do you guys see it now?
Yeah, if you could zoom in or make it go. If you go to view and like kind of full screen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
View.
Enter full screen on the bottom.
All the way. Yep, last one. There you go.
Okay.
Bingo, there you go.
So here, the top one is the full wall. You see over here, the skiff and the Oriole, that came from the other side. And we brought this big heron over here, just kind of larger than life, just to change the space of and dynamics of the composition. Under it, you have this rowing team looking like ants compared to the pterodactyl flying over it. And then some old watermen, 3 watermen here from long ago. And then, well, here's the closer ups. And I think, so yeah, the scroll was over here where the Oriole is. So that is
yeah, it's
gone.
completely different design than what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, cool.
We apologize.
So colors are remaining the same. Proportions are for the most part the same, except the heron was once really small and kind of wading in the water. We made it big to sort of fill in that space and make it less awkward. And then the bird, the Oriole on the other side in lieu of the scroll to kind of balance the nature elements out here.
You added the boat in there as well. Okay, cool. All right, thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
Much more helpful.
Should I click stop share?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Okay.
Any other questions?
I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Jeff and Julia and Laura. We appreciate you attending tonight and presenting. And an email of our decision will be sent to you after our meeting tonight.
Okay.
You.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Mark, if you could bring Veronica forward, please. We will discuss her proposal for funding for Old Fourth Ward Unity Day.
Oh, there we go.
Thank you. Hi, Veronica, welcome.
Hi, just excuse me, I'm very nervous. I don't like public speaking or videos and things like that. However, my name is Veronica Grant. I initially started Old Fourth Ward Unity Day in 2012. One was because every neighborhood, had things going on with exception of the neighborhood that I'm from and live in. And so, I wanted to bring an event to our neighborhood that was positive. And now moving forward, I am unable to finance the event. I do get a little support here and there. Initially, when I started it, my husband and I, as I've said in the video, we paid for everything. We were truck drivers, we could afford it, but we're both disabled now and, on disability. But the people in the neighborhood still look for us to bring this event forward. They look forward to it because, it's just something positive in our neighborhood. A lot of people see, a lot of the negative things, but this is a good thing for our community. And I cannot do it without you all. I can't do it without your help. This year we have live entertainment. We have several bands, Prosperity, Divas of Soul, West Mob out of DC, Family of Art, which is an R&B band, and Miles Project. That's another band out of DC. We have face painting. We have a marching band, elite marching band, and we have a young team of steppers. They're probably like 8, 9, 10 years old. They're gonna come out and perform for us. And we serve free food. The event is free and all are welcome. And normally this is one event where people from every community come to, and it's no drama, no craziness. It's just a lot of love and peace in the air. People are getting along. And I just, I need you all's help to keep that going. And people are asking me, hey, are you going to do 4-4 Unity Day this year? And I said, well, I don't know if I could keep it going, but I'm going to try. So, it's something that's near and dear to my heart. And I enjoy bringing people together, bringing the community together, and people from all over the city like to come and, just enjoy the event. And I really don't know what else to say.
No, I think you fill this in, and your ask was for 5,000 to support the musical acts.
Yes.
Okay. Does anybody have questions for
Veronica? As I've been involved in many outdoor festivals, and of course, one thing that's always the dreaded rain or weather. Is there a rain date for your event?
There is not a rain date. But I just have good faith and prayer that.
Okay, I'm thinking dry thoughts for you, Veronica. Don't worry, I'm putting that out there for you. But just want to make sure if that's it's a rain or shine event, basically.
Basically, yes.
Okay.
What is the date?
It's August 6th.
The 27th, Saturday, August the 27th, the last Saturday in August.
Okay.
And
what are the hours?
From 12 to 8 p.m.
12 to 8, great, okay.
And it's being held at Adams Park School.
Oh, great, okay.
Veronica, the PDF that you sent out of Adams Park School, is that the layout?
Well, I'm not a very good drawer, but yes. I can't hear you.
Oh, we lost you. You're not muted, Barbara, but we lost you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, Veronica, that's what I thought, but I just wanted to confirm because my PDF is out dark and I read it.
You're going in and out, but yes, ma'am. That's my drawing. Who said I was an artist, right? But I did my best to put the layout, the best that I could. So yes, that's it. And I'm believing we're gonna have access to the school for bathroom use.
Wonderful. Any
Just
other
one
questions?
question? Yeah,
Yep.
Veronica, who supplies the food?
So people in the community, and I have this year, I actually have some help because I've done it by myself every year, like everything. So
Wow.
this year I actually have some help. And so I have a small team together who you'll see in the video that I sent in. So we're all putting together for the food. So right now we have like 200 hot dogs, 200 hamburgers, cases of chicken, waters, chips, and stuff like that. And then we do actually have a couple of vendors. We have a food truck that's coming out that's going to be doing a seafood menu. We have popcorn, cotton candy, and snowball truck. But normally we always have enough food like through the beginning to the end.
Okay.
And then other people, as they come in, because they, associates or friends, of mine or people from social media that I'm out there saying, hey, we need like donations. They're coming and dropping off stuff too. So, and we just have it like a big old cookout on the grill, It's it's very nice. It brings so much, love in the air and a different dynamic to what, some people might think goes on around here. It's a lot of good stuff too.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. I am so nervous. I'm sorry.
You're doing great. You're doing really great. Thank you so much for presenting tonight. Any other questions for Veronica before we let her go? Okay. Thank you, Veronica. And you will be notified via email of our decision after our vote this evening.
I'll be jumping out of my skin waiting. Thank you so much.
Hey, Veronica, it is campaign season. Maybe you can get some of the people running for office to sponsor like a food wagon or.
Brian, I'm going to mute you. Stop it.
That sounds like a good idea, though.
It does. Thank you, Veronica.
I might get the emails this evening. Thank you all. Thank you
I'll
so
talk
much.
to you soon. Thank you.
Thank you all. And I'm so grateful and thankful for your support. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Veronica.
So much. Thanks for coming.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Love her. She does so much good work. Okay, up next will be Jan Lee and the committee from the Kunta Kinte celebration. Please bring them forward, Mark. And their ask, while we're waiting for them all to join us, was for $20,000.
And is Keith Rowell part of that committee?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for the opportunity to present to you all this evening and for the opportunity to support the 32nd annual Kunta Kinte Heritage Festival. I just wanted to start off with some highlights of last year's festival. So by the numbers, we had over 9,000 festival attendees. We had 115 arts and crafts, education and community and food vendors, and we had over 75 festival volunteers signed up. We were able to have as our headliner the very renowned Junkyard Band from Washington, D.C., and they were an absolute hit. The crowd really enjoyed them, as well as some of our, all of our other performers. We had the Malcolm X drummers and dancers. Chris Dillard is a local comedian that's has reached in Los Angeles, and Carnival Bounce crew, just to name a few. We had people and vendors that hailed from Annapolis, Baltimore, DC, New Jersey, and even South Carolina. So those are just some highlights of last year's festival. I didn't know if it might be possible. I also have a 1-minute video that's a recap of last year's festival. Would that be possible to share?
Certainly.
Okay, great. Thanks. Okay, share screen. Okay.
If there's audio to this video, you need to select that when you do the share.
Okay. All right, let's see. Got it. Thank you. Let me start here. All right, thank you. So just to expound upon a little bit of what you saw in the video there, we had a really good success with 3 stages. So we did try 3 stages last year, and we do want to continue along with that. And what that allows us to do is to continue elevating the caliber of entertainment that we have on our main stage, while also providing a platform and support for our local and up-and-coming talent. Oh, sorry. As well as, let me close it out, as well as educational programming on our community stage. So one group that we're in talks with right now that we are still working out the details, but just in talking about the caliber of entertainment, we're in talks right now with a group from DC that recently collaborated with Pharrell at his festival in Washington, DC, Pharrell Williams, the I Am Happy singer and creator. But we would be the first to bring this group to Annapolis. So we will really be looking to be able to claim that. And we're really excited about the prospect of this. And they are, to date, going to be one of the highest performers that we have paid. Along with that, and along with the festival growing, is the need for, documenting so that we can have great footage like we saw in the recap video just now, with costs for live stream, videographers and photographers, and supporting their businesses as well, to capture all of the day's performances, the attendees, and all the happenings that are going on the festival grounds. So those were the notes that I had. If I may, can give a minute to just see if my Vice Chair, Danielle Young, had anything that she wanted to add. Then I'll go to Keith Rao, who is our Entertainment Chair.
Hello, everyone. My name is Danielle. As she mentioned, I am the Vice Chair. I'm glad that you guys let us come on today and speak with you about our festival. Our festival has reached a lot of people, along with expanding, letting people know about Annapolis and the culture and the history that Annapolis does hold, and also being able to show some of the history, and that we're able to have performers show different arts such as dancing, different aspects of art. Is dancing, there's painting, there's singing, poetry. So it just gives an aspect all together. We try to make sure we show all the different ways that art is portrayed within our community, from Annapolis and beyond Annapolis in the Anne Arundel County. So thank you for having us today.
Thank you, Danielle. Go ahead, Keith.
Yeah, hi. I'm just excited to be a part of the organization and to watch it grow from year to year. I've been with it, I guess, maybe 5 years now. And but this year, when we're doing our opening ceremony, I think we partnered with the Alex Haley family. Am I correct, Jan? And
Foundation. Mm-hmm.
Yes, the foundation. But we're kicking it off big this year, and I got my friend Art Sherrod is going to be opening up the main stage for us this year, and that's going to be real exciting. That's all I have.
Thank you, Danielle and Keith. And I did realize I'll just take a step back too and just, oh, I'm sorry. And actually, I'm going to kick it over to Dr. Debbie Wood, who does our children's activities at our children's activity area.
And I've been doing that for 30 years. And I'm proud to say that I always try to represent authenticity with the crafts and other activities that we do. And I tell people it's my annual trip to Africa without shots, so that children can experience what Kunta Kinte might have enjoyed as a child before he got captured and taken to Annapolis.
Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Danielle. Thank you, Keith. And I just also wanted to take a step back and just reiterate, what was on our application to just overall say, the festival, it's a free, family-friendly cultural festival. And, the support of organizations like Art in Public Places does help us to keep it free as well, so that we really can reach everyone. Everyone is able to come and enjoy and to learn. And that's an important aspect that we want to continue as well. So.
Wonderful.
And Jan, if I could just add, we also added a live stream audience this past year, and that was very successful, and we'll be doing it again this year.
Good idea. Good idea.
Like to open it up for questions at this time. Do we have questions?
I just had a couple comments, but I can wait until everyone else is done.
I just had a quick question for Keith or Jan. You got 3 stages going on, which is awesome. You've been involved in the festival for a while, so I know the struggle is real. What percentage of your artists you think are local now that you've got so many stages going on?
Yes, if you allow me to work through that a little bit. So the memorial stage, which is the smaller stage that is by the statue, that's why we're calling it this, by the Kunta Kinte Alex Haley statue, and that's why we're calling it memorial stage. But that is all local, and that may expand a little bit to Baltimore and DC. We are going to be partnering with Malcolm McFadden, who has an open mic event, and so he's going to help us to recruit talent for that stage. But from what I've seen from his shows, I think it's about 50% Annapolis local. And so that's the memorial stage. Community stage,
just best guess. You don't have to be
yes,
exact.
okay.
Yeah, you have to crunch the numbers.
Yes. Yeah, I would say that's 50% as well. Annapolis, and then with the main stage, with Art Sherrod, we're going to have Lifetime Band. We're going to have still kind of working out some contracts. We have a local DJ who's 14 years old. We're going to have a guest DJ who's from Annapolis. So that might be more about 60%.
Of course, the Clones of Funk as well.
And Clones of Funk, yeah. So main stage might be about 60%.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
These kinds of festivals, generally speaking, can actually be profitable. But it looks like you, based on the aerial photograph and from my experience in going down there, you need about twice as many vendors to support the operation. And I'm happy as a commissioner to, support you with, public money. But a suggestion is to really recruit vendors and make sure that you're charging competitive rates with other festivals, because it was a crowded festival and people were buying at the Kunta Kinte festival last time I was, last summer, or maybe 2 years ago. So I would just encourage you to as much as you're focused on music and entertainment, you need to be focused on the vendors, because this is how you actually build the festival on a more solid footing financially.
Thank you for that.
But I wish you the best of luck. And by the way, I have bought art at the festival, and I found one year you had a little boy from Africa. He had a mentor with him, and he produced 2 beautiful banana leaf paintings that I have on my wall. So I'm hoping that you'll do some really creative art like that, and also bring entertainment over from Africa. They are in Washington at school, and years ago, one girl worked at the Market House, and she was a performer. So it's all fun. And Debbie, when are you going to have a play area for adults?
We're limited in space. I miss the days when I had a 40-foot by 80-foot tent, but I don't have that anymore. That was
I know.
And the fairgrounds, but they got too expensive.
Yeah, just all we need is a mat. We have soft knees, so you put a mat down, we can enjoy it.
And when City Dock is revamped, then we can talk about expanding the children's activity area.
No problem.
Wonderful.
Thank you for that recommendation. If I can, I'll just make a quick comment, because I really do appreciate that. And if consultation comes out of the sponsorship support, I would be definitely open to discussing that further. We definitely try to strike a balance, because we also do want to provide economic opportunities. So I'll just say this real quickly. We do have a young entrepreneur where we have 3 or 4 spots for a very low fee that we offer to the young entrepreneurs. And we work with community organizations. We offer them nominal to sometimes nothing to have, give community information, offer services. So, but thank you for that.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jan, Danielle, and Keith so much, and Debbie, for putting this all together every year. And as David said, he knows the task that you guys have taken on, and it's wonderful. It's a great event that we have done at City Dock. Thank you for presenting tonight. And again, we will let you know via email after we vote.
Thank you.
Okay, last on the agenda is the Inner West Street Association is presenting sponsorship asks for their First Sundays music performances and the Dinner Under the Stars music performances. So we will bring Audrey Lee and Jody Danick forward to discuss with us. And the while we're waiting, the First Sunday's ask was for $15,700, and the Dinner Under the Stars sponsorship was $23,525.
Hello, everybody. How are you today?
Good, thanks. Hi, Jody. Hi, Audrey.
Hi. So good to hear about so many awesome art activities going on in Annapolis.
The full calendar event coming up. Everything is coming together again now that we're open back up.
It's so awesome. Yeah, there's some great events and activities that you guys talked about tonight. So I'll be as brief as possible. Was I starting off with First Sundays?
Yes, please.
Yes, hi. So again, Jody Danick, I'm the president of Inner West Street Association. I believe I know a lot of you all here, and whoever I don't know, I'd be happy to get to know. Interesting side note, I do know Joe Carr from high school, and he's been a friend for a long time, but I also worked with Laura at the Harbor House. I think she might have been a bus girl or a host, and I was just in high school as well. So it is a small town, and I hope that mural with Future History Now and Jaru goes great on the side of the new Gibson's Inn. So with First Sunday Arts Festival, I know you all are familiar with our events at Inner West Street. First Sunday Arts Festival is 7 events, 7 Sundays on the first Sunday. If you include the Chocolate Binge Festival, it's actually 8 on the first Sundays of every month on in the inner West Street corridor on the first block of West Street. We sometimes go to the second block and come around to where the new awesome mural is going to be on the Arundel Center on Calvert Street across from People's Park. We generally get about 3,000 to 5,000 people coming through on those first Sundays. Sometimes it can be more. And we generally have 3 stages with entertainment throughout the day. It's a great festival, great economic driver. It does cost money. And we've been fully self-supporting through our vendor fees, like Jim had talked about. But there are additional costs, and we certainly would love the support of AIPPC. I think you guys are pretty familiar with First Sundays. We've been doing it for 23 years, I believe. So if you have any questions, we can open it up. Or if Audrey Lee would like to, actually, I should introduce Audrey Lee. She's our new social events coordinator, also known as executive director. And she's taken on the task of helping us to put on the various festivals that we put on throughout the course of the year. This is a year-long project that Inner West Street's involved with. But Audrey, if you have something to add or say or answer any questions, I think you're on mute.
I just like the fact that we can provide entertainment to such a ground and in a setting that's really happy, and people like to dance, they like to just enjoy themselves, shopping and experience the first Sundays, and partake in supporting the restaurants on West Street as well, and the vendors, and it's all local music that we hire. So it's a great asset to the community as far as just supporting our local musicians. And artists, of course. We got lots of art.
Do we have questions? I did have a question. What's about the average fee that you're paying your musicians?
Well, on the average, I mean, if you take, so roughly we have about, for first Sundays, it runs about $2,000, $2,500 per Sunday.
Okay.
For each event. And with, 3 different stages, it's kind of spread out all over the place.
Yeah. And then under the stars is
so first Sunday dinner under the stars is Wednesdays and Saturday nights. We also run all of those events, and Wednesdays. So we did spend more in the past, but it does get to be expensive. This is supported through the restaurants, donations, and actual invoices that we give to them. So we also do raffles that Audrey has done, and a couple other fundraising type activities that we try to do to raise money, so that it limits the amount of money that the restaurants are burdened with. But on Wednesdays, we toned it down a little bit, and sometimes we just have had terrible weather too. In Annapolis, you just don't know. But it's 35 events over 4 months, 35 dates over 4 months. Wednesdays is usually one singer-songwriter, so it's maybe about $250 to $300. And then on Saturdays, we try to have a bigger band, which could be anywhere from $2,000 to $500, depending on what type of music we're doing. On First First Sunday Arts Festival, it's pretty much spread throughout the a lot of value added events, so that we can kick up a little bit more value add. We're doing a Latino Fest, we did a Motown Fest, and we're just trying to make those events better.
Any other questions? So I did have one more. How many events do we have left on your schedule? I'm sorry.
So for Dinner on the Stars, our for this year we would have about 18 still left. Our fiscal year, it runs July to July like everybody else's, so this would go into next year as well for our ask. It's a year-long program, but we budget for towards the end of the year, for December 31st, even though our fiscal year goes forward. So we have about 9 more events there, and for Sundays, Audrey, I think we have 5.
We have August, September, October, November. So yeah, 4, and then the chocolate binge we have coming up, and Dinner Under the Stars, we have about 16 more Wednesdays and Saturdays to complete, which include the Latino Festival. We're doing, I don't know if you guys were able to come to the Motown this past Saturday, but it was absolutely amazing. It was so much fun. It was packed. We probably had over 1,000 people there. It was just, everybody was dancing and having a great time. So yeah, Latino Festival, and then we're also doing like a summer kickoff in August sometime. And then we're having our Fall Fest in October, on October 22nd, which is also going to be a pretty big event. And that'll be a lot of families and kids involved during the day. So it should be a good family friendly event.
So one of the things we've tried to do is with the value add is to add themes to each one of the Saturday Dinner Under the Stars, or to at least one a month, not to get too ambitious, but the Latino Festival, the Fall Festival, and Motown Fest and things like that. They just kind of like give, if people are just walking by, maybe they stayed at the hotels or they're walking to go downtown, gives them another reason to go, hey, what's going on here? Not just really for locals. So we are for locals, and we consider ourselves a locals street, but this is sort of a value add with kids events and Oktoberfest type events. There's different sort of themes that we're trying to push for each month.
Great. I love all the information that you're giving, because it is a public meeting. So there may be somebody watching that doesn't know, and crazy to think, but that they may not know the events that you guys do. So thank you so much for all the information. Is there any other questions for Audrey or Jody before we let them go? Okay, great. Thank you so much for spending time with us and hanging out with us. Yeah. And again, we'll let you know via email after our vote this evening.
Great. All right.
Thank you for
very
all
much.
you do.
Thank you. Thank you guys. Same to you guys.
Sure.
Okay, so it's a lot. Hopefully everybody remembers everything. So we can open
a test afterwards.
There's a big
Genevieve.
Yes.
I have one question. I serve on the board of directors of the Inner West Street Association, so I'll recuse myself from voting.
Yeah.
I'll refrain from pushing for it, but it's a great program.
I appreciate that. Brian, that goes to you too.
Brian, wake up.
Silent observer, Brian. You're doing good. You're doing great. It's okay.
I'm here.
Yeah, no, you're here, but you have to be quiet when we vote on Inner West Street. So you can't push it. You can't.
I haven't said a word.
I know, not yet.
I guess she's trying to keep it that way, Brian.
Okay. So I think we're going to take this time to, have an open discussion amongst ourselves about all the proposals that have been presented to us tonight. And if anybody has any further questions or concerns, Jim, I did forward the proposals to you by email. You should have them in your email box, because I think by watching your facial expressions and your questions that you didn't get them the first time. So, okay. I can read lips too. You're muted, Jim. You're muted. It's okay.
Thank you. I'll check them out. I'm not worried about. I know enough about these groups that it's not a problem.
Okay, great. So, did anybody want to kick off the conversation?
Well, based on your email, they're asking for more money than we have. So
currently,
supply and demand is going to be an issue there.
Yes. Yeah.
Can we just recap just the list of what each single ask is, so we can just do the first simple math?
Yep. So Archie, for his basketball mural, was asking for 11,000. The Songwriters Festival was asking for 10,000. The Joe Carr mural with Jauru was asking for 8,000. Old Fourth Unity is asking for 5,000. The Kunta Kinte Festival asked for 20,000. And Inner West Street for First Sundays, they asked for 15,700. And for the Under the Stars music programming, they asked for Dinner Under the Stars, they asked for $23,525. So it was a total of $93,225.
Okay, yeah. I'm looking at the email you sent. It had 83,000. Like, we're missing Archie. So yeah.
Well, no, we're not missing Archie. We're missing the Songwriter, because the Songwriter Festival application came in before we posted the agenda on Thursday or Friday. Yeah. So that wasn't in this email when I sent it out on Thursday. So.
And this, I'm only asking because I got kicked out of the meeting for a while.
That's okay.
Did Archie present? Did I miss that?
He was not here. No.
Okay.
Jeff. Yeah. He presented it before, so technically old business. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Any other questions? So,
what's our budget?
So currently
$51,000.
Yeah. 51,000 and some change here. Yeah.
Change.
I know.
$50,000 is rounded up.
Yeah.
So we have to cut $42,000.
Sadly, yes. Currently, yes.
One of the ways we've done it before, and I'm not suggesting one way or the other, but is to sort of think about equivalent percentages for kind of equivalent events, as a way of kind of honoring the budget they need. But because here there are some very similar events from very different organizations, and it feels right to sort of try to balance between them somehow. And the only way we've sort of done that in the past is kind of think in terms of percentages. It's really hard just to sort of, I don't know, but yeah. I mean, it's hard because one is asking for a fraction of their overall budget, and a couple are really asking for most of their budget from us, which is just a different spin or a different wrinkle.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And then, another option is that we can table some of the items that don't occur until after our next meeting in September. Because then we'll have more money then, which opens up more money now to decide on the events that are happening right away.
I was not really keeping track. I mean, that's kind of hard for the Inner West Street ones because they're kind of ongoing. But what are the ones that sort of and our next meeting is not until the end of September. So
right.
Kunta Kinte is in September 25th. The Fourth Ward thing, I think, was August 22nd or something to that effect. So that's coming up. I'm not quite sure when they're going to start the mural. And obviously, First Sundays and Music on the Stars is ongoing and happening as we speak.
Exactly. And then another thing to remember is that with the musical performance, the festivals, we do not grant them the money until after the event has occurred anyway. So if we decided to table those events that are happening in September and then allocate the funds at our September meeting, that's within our rights to do so. And the performance would have already happened, and we can compensate some of their expenses that way. The Kunta Kinte Festival is happening whether we support them or not. So is the Songwriter Festival. So it's not like if we didn't agree to fund them tonight and held them till September, the events would still happen, but we could just offer a vote with compensation in September. And that's another thing when you asked her about a rain date for Old Fourth Ward Unity Day. What happens is if it does rain and it's canceled, our contract to compensate them and pay them would be void because performance didn't happen. So
I do have a question to pose to the group is, do we want to spend the entire $50,000? Or do we want to keep some of it for, pocket change? I mean, that's a question, So of the $50,000, how much of it do we want to spend?
Yeah. For me, I think in part because I was in that budget meeting yesterday, I feel okay if we do, because we know the new funding source is going to kick in. So I feel less concerned about kind of spending out. But I had that same question. Like, on the other hand, we haven't always wanted to just spend everything we have in hand.
Right.
It's a different feeling, honestly. Because there's a part of me that wants to be very fiscally responsible and keep in our account. But knowing that we have a large sum coming in September, I'm conflicted. I'm like, well, we could give it,
Well, we've deferred $68,000 if we hold off the festivals. And we may decide to give them some later. So we're left with the mural, the Fourth Ward Unity Day, and what else?
The mural for the basketball, the $11,000.
Yeah, $11,000 for the
That's
basketball.
26,000, I think, 14, 11. I was smart, major. So like 26, 27,000, 24.
24 for the two murals and Unity Day. It'll be 24.
How much is left to be spent for the basketball mural?
He's asking for 11,000 to cover the rest of it.
So it's half.
Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, it seems to me that we need to prioritize who needs it most and how far we want to go into our money. I certainly realize the Fourth Ward community needs the money. I think the street mural is important, and I think the basketball court mural is important. Beyond that, we can hold off making a decision if you want to. But that is what is that? 15.
That's 24,000.
Yeah, 24.
Mm-hmm.
So we leaves remaining 63. So Kunta wants 20. and the West Street one's 15, and then on the stores one's 23. So that's what's left for us to decide on. 23, 50, yeah.
Yeah, it's like 69,000 that we're tabling until September
Right.
to decide on.
So I would make a motion that we spend the 24,000 as we discussed on the basketball mural. Is that right?
Yep.
Yep. That's correct.
The street mural and the Fourth Ward Unity Day activity.
Okay. Do we have a second?
A second.
Can I do a roll call, please, Joe? For all those in favor, please say aye.
Sure. Jim.
Sure.
David.
Aye.
I'm listening.
We're taking a roll call.
Barbara.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. You can vote on this one, Jim. Aye.
Okay, I vote aye.
Okay. I heard you, David.
Okay.
Barbara.
And Cynthia is on.
Yep. Cynthia
Aye.
and Joe. Aye. So that motion passes unanimously.
Wonderful. Okay, so Joe, when you put it in the minutes, can you make sure that you notate that the 24,000 and how it's broken down?
Yes, and just to confirm, so it was 11,000 for the basketball mural, 5,000 for Unity Day, and 8,000 for Prince George mural.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Does anybody remember how much we gave Kunta Conte Festival last year?
It's in their application. I think we gave them 10 last
10,000?
year. Mm-hmm.
I mean, we
They
do
did-
want to support them. Perhaps if we can just explain that we cannot go up from that amount, that we are somewhat obligated to stick with 10,000.
Although I feel this is this option to potentially table. Like, I don't want to mess up anybody's finances, but in some ways, like if we do that now, like they can only get one grant from us per year. That's correct, right? Per cycle. So
Yeah.
we're either locking these other events in now, or we're, so I guess in answer to you, Cynthia, like whether we do 10,000 now or revisit in September, knowing our full budget, we could still commit to 10,000 then, but our sense of our budget may have shifted. So.
Cynthia, you can make that motion if you'd like.
Well, this is such an important, long-standing, homegrown festival. You know, it's just getting bigger each year. It's very, very popular. As they said, they had perhaps 9,000 participants. And if they know that we're supportive, but that, you know, we can only commit, I don't know, 10,000 or 12,000. But, you know, just because it's local and we just, you know, want to make sure that we support them. I mean, this is a very local group and they've been working hard on this for many, many years. So I would hope to vote today for some amount and between 10 to 12,000.
Yeah, it says in the contract last year they got 6,000 2021.
Could I make a comment?
Yes.
The music activities, the Songwriters, the Kunta Kinte Festival, and the other two, those are organizations that are raising money and paying for what they're doing. If we didn't give them a dime, they would figure out how to raise that money and pay for it. So I think the pressure we should not feel the pressure. What we want to do is figure out, of those 3 or 4 activities, some share of an amount of money total that we would want to spend on festivals. Because it really is the obligation of events like that to figure out their financing and not depend on a public subsidy. The point, I always felt that a little boost is great. So that's not what I'm objecting to. But now the numbers are starting to get bigger. And even though we have a lot more money to spend, we ought to be looking at smaller, more creative events and activities other than just murals and other than just festivals. There are so many other things. And there are other parts of the city, by the way, that are not touched by any of this. So that's my big concern as we move forward, that we keep that in the back of our mind. And I had come up with a couple ideas, but I didn't have them, formalized. So I will try to have some more ideas formalized. And I have no axe to grind about any of these. I mean, I don't have any, I've been to Africa, to the Kunta Kinte festival in Africa. I've met his aunt and his great aunt, her great great aunt. And, so I've been through all of that. And it is a wonderful cultural event for the city. So I don't dispute that.
Can I just to follow up? I mean, to me, I hear all of that, and I think the subtlety. I'm glad David asked, like, what percentage of performances were local, because that's like the reach of the festivals. Like it's more diffuse, kind of potentially all across the city, and sort of the ways in which the people who are performing at all of these events are coming from sort of all over the city. So for me, there's something kind of underneath the surface about it. We can't keep necessarily track of the full scope or reach, but I think the 3 stages worth of 50 to 60% of local acts is pretty compelling as a place where our money might go. And the Inner West Street kind of just it looks like, looking at their applications, we did give them money last year. We gave them less than $2,000. So they are asking for essentially a 10-fold increase in funding from us. Just for additional perspective on the kind of the larger amounts that you're talking about.
Yeah. So after we spent the $24,000 to support the 2 murals and Old Fourth Ward Unity Day, we have a remaining balance of $27,525.11. So we could make a motion to support, the Songwriters Festival still and the Kunta Kinte Festival still at different amounts than what they've asked for, or we can make a motion to table the last 4 asks until September.
Yeah, because I think, just throwing my 35 cents in, I know, we've got a lot more money than we normally want to. Jim, you did mention the West Street Circle, which is probably going to be gobs of money. If we want something decent that's going to last, that's cool. It's not, we're going to, it's going to be probably 6 figures, give or take. We probably want to reserve.
I agree with you about this. I agree with you completely. There's stuff down the road, so we can spend what we have budgeted for this year if we want to on these projects. So we just have to figure out how we pare some of the money back. And the way to think about this is, what effort are they putting into raising their own money? And I really like Joe's point. So it makes it a little harder about local participation. And that might be a question that we want to ask in the future on our forums. What percentage of local talent and participation are you doing, and list it? So
Yeah,
that we
they
can
have to
look
list
at
it because they can put anything they want there unless they have. a
Yeah,
list
yeah,
on
yeah.
it.
I agree. But we get at least we have feedback, and we can say, well, we were supporting these, these 5 musicians because they were participating in one of these festivals activities, and they're all local. And yes, it cost this amount of money, or we contributed this amount of money. And I think we could make a good argument for what we're doing that way.
And so what I was saying is
And
that,
go ahead.
is that, so we've got some money coming in September. We need to decide how much of that money we want to set aside as well. I think we just need to start, figuring out
Westgate.
kind of budgeting. Okay, we're going to set aside X amount of money for the sculpture, which leaves us an X amount of money to support, these Kunta Kinte and the other things. And so we can kind of maybe think about, again, like all the points we've all made, like what because maybe we can give them more than $10,000. And I don't know, but maybe less, depending on if we have a conversation about how we really feel about those festivals.
Are we limited to giving 1 grant a year per group?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, during the fiscal year. Yes.
Because I was thinking if you could give them a small grant now, maybe in September we could give them more.
Cynthia has her hand up.
Okay. All right. Okay. I try.
Pertaining to David's point, we have to set aside a certain percentage of the funds every year for maintenance, because we are also responsible for maintenance of all of these various products. So just bear that in mind every year.
Yeah. So I think we were originally, I know once we have the RFP put together, we'll know more of how to set aside, but I think we were looking at setting aside 50,000 to 75,000 from AIPBC and then asking for matches for the Westgate sculpture. And so at our budget.
I know the Arts District is eager to contribute.
Right.
They don't have money, but they're going to get grants. So, they'll come up with money.
Awesome. Yes. And that's very helpful. And that's wonderful. So, but just so you know, so out of the 200,000 or so that we should have in September, 50 to 75 of that should be set aside. And then we'll start asking for, matches and other grants and so forth to build that up and for the RFP for that. But so that would leave us, like maybe around 100,000 left to spend for the fiscal year of 2023, which ends July 1st of 2023. So to keep those numbers in mind, do we have someone that would like to make a motion to either support one of the last 4 asks?
I can't vote.
No.
I want to make a motion to support the Kunta Kinte Festival with $10,000 for this year's festival.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, Joe, could you do a roll call vote, please?
Sure. Give me a second.
Yep.
Okay. Cynthia.
Aye.
David. You're muted.
Can't you read my facial expression? Aye.
No, it was confusing. I wasn't sure.
Yes. And I'm looking at I'm not looking at the screen right now. Barbara.
This works or this works.
Jim.
Jimmy.
Aye.
Yeah. Okay.
Genevieve.
Aye.
And Joe. Aye. Motion passes unanimously.
Okay. 10,000 for Kunta Kinte.
What's our total now that we've spent?
34,000.
Before, so we got like $15,000 left.
So we have 17,525 and 11 cents.
I think we ought to sit on that.
Okay. Do we
Carry it on.
have a motion to table the Songwriters Festival ask, and First Sunday's ask, and Under the Stars ask?
I'll make a motion, we table the funding of the remaining events until we get our budget officially
In September's meeting?
in September.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I will second that.
Okay. May I have a roll call vote, please?
And I can't vote on this.
And yep, Jim can't vote.
Okay.
Jim gets out without any blame.
No guilt
sure.
tonight.
Genevieve,
Aye.
Joe, aye. David,
Aye.
Barbara,
Aye.
and Cynthia.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Fabulous. And again, Joe, make sure that in the notes it says what 3 events were tabled.
Yes.
Sponsorships. Thank you. Okay. Okay. It's hard. I hate saying no. It's not a no. It's a wait and see. Yes.
So not now.
It's a not now.
It's a not now.
It's a not now. Okay. All right. That leads us to open discussion. I'd like to kick off saying that this Sunday is, oh my gosh, I'm so stuck in, this Sunday is City Dock Fiesta. It will feature the Battaglia Drummers, which is an all-women's group, drumming group. It'll kick it off, and then DJ Simon and Talia will lead salsa and Zumba, so big dance party afterwards. It's for our Latino and Hispanic cultural inclusion with City Dock events, and so make sure that you guys come on down, spread the word. And anybody else? Nope. Okay.
Brian has his hand up.
Oh, go ahead, Brian.
I just wanted to thank all of you for your work tonight and to give you something to consider with regard to what Jim was saying earlier. I think it's great that you're thinking about all these different aspects of funding and trying to help new organizations. But and something to think about is a lot of musicians are getting paid for the same amount for a gig that they were in the late 70s and early 80s. It's like somehow I got stuck at.
Oh, you got stuck too.
Brian, you're stuck.
You're stuck, Brian. Oh no. Well, that I'll say yes. That's why we
Pay
raised
the mortgage.
Yeah, there you go.
Pay the mortgage and pay their, food bills, because everything's gotten so much more expensive. So I appreciate all that you guys do to help support the arts in this town. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian.
May I please piggyback on that and just say this is the exact logic for our discussion about the curatorial fees. And so this to me is, we've sort of talked about this on the visual arts side. So I appreciate your bringing that up on the musician side as well.
Yep. Artists, yes. That's why
Is there a moment?
We went from 500 to 750 this year. So go ahead, Jim.
One of my concerns is that we can double our effectiveness by collaborating with other groups. And sometimes that involves more discussion with them. And we might want to think about inviting 2 or 3 of the groups that we may need to help get us to help us to come to another meeting. And we have like a half an hour, 40-minute discussion of projects that are in the making and that we can be of help, and they can put a proposal together, and then we can help, share in the cost. I'm thinking of a sculpture garden at the library. I'm thinking, of course, about the traffic circle. And I'm thinking about more unusual places to put sculpture, something more 3-dimensional. And I think one of the things we ought to begin to do when we do our mural projects, we ought to do what they're doing on the Arundel Center and make them interactive.
Yep.
In other words, people can walk up to it and they can either be photographed at a certain place in the mural, or there's a QR code that they can click and the mural comes alive on their phone. They can see it moving and it helps explain what's really going on. And the one on the Arundel Center has a fishing line, and you can actually cast the fishing line. So, and have a picture taken of you holding that fishing line. So we need to begin to get a little more creative, because as one alderman said to me recently, enough with the murals, Jim. And I said, well, there are a lot of blank, flat spaces in Annapolis.
Yeah.
And so we do have this dilemma.
Yeah.
And we need to put sculpture in different communities too.
Yeah. So we do have an interactive map that's on the city site under AIPPC, as well as the book that they published. And the hope is that working with Visit Annapolis and the Arts Council, that we can put together funding to have an app for the city that is an interactive tour for all of the art in the city. So that is somewhat in the works. We don't have an idea of how much we would need to fund that right now, but there are interested groups in doing that. And that would require us to go around to all the murals that don't have QR codes currently, putting a QR code on it or some sort of plaque too. Go ahead, Brian.
I was going to let you wrap up that thought, because I had another ask, or maybe you were already going to do it, but I was thinking maybe the chair or sub chair could write the 3 organizations and let them know that why we held off the vote tonight.
Yeah, so everybody will get an email regarding our votes tonight, and yes, and I'll explain why it was tabled, and that it'll be brought again for the ones that were tabled in September. So yeah, we'll definitely let them know. Notice notice of decision is on the bottom of those forms, so we'll fill it out and send it back. And which Joe, I'll go over with you as secretary. You can fill it in from the minutes. Yeah, and then also sorry, on my computer. We also need to update the interactive map that is currently on the city with the new murals that we have done since COVID, because it hasn't been updated. So, and David and I are actually on that group that we need to go around and start making notes on pieces that we own, the city owns, that need maintenance. And then we have to call in people who can fix it, whether it's the original artist or somebody who can do repairs to our art that we have and get quotes and all that fun stuff. So yes, that is an administrative part of Arts and Public Places as well, to maintain the art that the city owns, not just procure new art. So
I had reached out to the artist that did the mural behind City Hall 4 years ago, but that's one that needs help. And with the new garage opening next summer, it would be cool to have it touched up.
Yeah, it had some green algae growing on it, and yeah.
His quote was
David and
for
Genevieve, I'd
5,000.
be happy to volunteer to work with your committee going around and doing that.
That'd be fabulous.
I'll take good notes.
Okay.
Brian, he quoted to touch up that mural 5,000.
Yeah,
the artist.
that's right.
Yeah.
We'll have to get an updated quote on him, because it may have gone up because everything else has gone up price wise. So
it was a good 3-4 years ago.
Yeah. Okay. We will start that as well now that we have the funds coming in, that we can do this. So anything else for open discussion? All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for sitting in tonight and allocating the funds to these really awesome events. I'm excited. I guess that's it. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.